Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Big for One Gaming here. Welcome back to episode number 102 of Winning a National Championship with every team in the game. If you guys missed any of the episodes, up at the right-hand corner will be a playlist from all of our episodes from 1 to 102. We're getting very, very close to the end of the series. We've got about 32, or I guess after this episode, 32 more teams to go. We need to get up to 134. So, new episode means new team, which means we get a wheel spin. But of course, if you don't want to see the wheel, write a comment down below of any of these names that you see on the screen here, like Arizona State, Arizona, Colorado, all these teams can be done. We haven't used them yet, so depends who we get here. And we're going to just miss Penn State to go back to the Big Ten, but we're going to get Southern Mississippi here in this one. So this will be another G5 school, I guess. Is it G5 or is it G4 now? I think it's about to be G5 again, but who knows? Sorry, I had to go back and actually look because I totally forgot who we even picked up there. But we are going to be having Southern Miss in this one, and I believe they are in the Sun Belt. I don't know why I think I accidentally did it there, but yeah. Southern Mississippi is 78 overall, one of, I guess, middle of the road for the Sun Belt. Could potentially be up there, but yeah, Southern Miss is the next team that we will do here. And, of course, will be a master motivator with Jeff Singleton. They did win a bowl game in 2022, but not great in 2023. And I can't remember what they did here in 2024. But yeah, I can't remember exactly what they did. But all in all, we do have motivator, mostly for the offense, mostly for the boost for the offense. We need to do one for our quarterback, but then we got them also situated. We also are tactician, which will be nice, and architect, and we have the skill caps for the whole offense, so that's nice. Offensive coordinator, we do have some recruiting, and it's just the scouting wise, so that's, I guess, okay. And motivator as well for the offense. Defensive coordinator has the opposite. He has 2 points for the D-line for recruiting actions, I guess, but scouting for linebackers and DBs, and scheme guru, which will definitely help out the defense. Let's take a look at our team here and see what we got going on. We do have an 81 overall halfback. We do have an 80 overall right guard who's a sophomore with playing time as a deal breaker, so he'll definitely be around. We only have 3 quarterbacks, so we're definitely going to need a quarterback. Halfback's going to be a big need. Pretty much everything will be a need, I think, at this point. Maybe besides wide receivers, but they need speed. Offensive line needs help. Defensive line desperately needs help. We're also losing a bunch of seniors, so yeah, they'll need help. Same with linebackers. We're losing a bunch of them as well. Corners are actually okay, I guess. The two corners are missing, but other than that, that's the only 2 we'll have to replace. Safeties will need help, and we do not need a kicker or punter because we already have those guys, so that's nice. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and set up Season 1. I'll be right back here with Southern Mississippi. So here we are at the end of season number 1 here with Southern Miss. We go 7-5. Actually, a pretty decent season here from Southern Miss. We started out losing to Kentucky, but then beat FCS, lost to USF, beat Jacksonville State, lost to Louisiana, but then beat UL Monroe, Arkansas State, and James Madison before losing back-to-back to Marshall and Texas State, and then beat South Alabama and Troy to finish the season at 7-5. We're going to get a bowl game, which is going to be very, very nice. Hopefully we can win that, because if we can win that one, we may go up in a prestige or 2, since we are only a 2-star prestige here at this point. Jalen Milroe wins the Heisman Trophy, 30,000 yards, 29 touchdowns to 1 interception on the season. We'll be playing Toledo in the Cure Bowl as well, so all in all, I mean, it's a bowl game, but Toledo went 11-2 on the season. Good for them. I believe that's one of the teams we have not. I can't remember if we've done Toledo or not at this point. Maybe we have. I just have forgotten at this point. But anywho, I know we haven't done Penn State, but we did lose, so we're 7-6. We actually went down at prestige as well, which is not very fun. But coach stability goes up, coach prestige improves, but pro potential goes down, and we got 11 players want to transfer out. But Utah in season 1 beats rival, I guess Big 12 rival Oklahoma State 31-28. With Texas State, Utah, Michigan, Clemson, and Georgia were the automatic qualifiers. With Texas, Alabama, Oregon State, Florida State, Notre Dame, and Indiana and Oklahoma State, the at-large bids. So that's going to end season number 1. It is on to season number 2 here with Southern Mississippi. And here we are in season number 2 with Southern Mississippi. We go 6-6 this season, so not a 500 or above 500 season. So we just go 500. We win the first 2, lose the next 2. Then it was win, loss, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. So honestly, this is a quicker season just because, I mean, we're a couple seasons. I mean, we're only 2 seasons in. We still got a long way to go, I think, with Southern Mississippi. But we did just sign a 3-star tight end, which will be nice. We did lose a right outside linebacker to LSU for whatever reason, but all in all. But Avery Johnson wins the Heisman Trophy. 3,000 yards, 38 touchdowns to 3 interceptions on the season. And we'll be taking on UAB in the Frisco Bowl. So hopefully we can win this one. If we can, we'll go 7-6 for back-to-back seasons. But it is back-to-back seasons in a bowl game. Just hopefully it's not back-to-back losses in the bowl game as well. But just looking to improve next season, and hopefully our recruits can be even better for next season. We did lose, so we are 6-7 again. Coach stability is an A+, though. We actually are number 1 apparently for school grades, but coach prestige does go down, and a lot of people want to transfer out again. Hopefully we don't lose too many. It looks like USC defeats LSU in the national championship 28-24, with North Carolina, Liberty, USC, Kansas State, and Texas A&M with the automatic qualifiers, with Georgia, NC State, Oregon, Michigan, LSU, Arizona, and Ohio State the at-large bids. So that's going to end season number 2. It is on to season number 3 here with Southern Miss. And here we are in season number 3 here at Southern Mississippi. We go 6-6 again, another 500 season. We end up losing our first game to Illinois. Then we beat Auburn. We give them one of their 3 losses on the year. Then we beat Louisiana Tech. So we're riding high off the win against a ranked team, but then lost to Tulane, beat App State, then lost 4 in a row against UL Monroe, goes to Carolina, Troy, and Louisiana, before winning 3 in a row against Ark State, South Alabama, and Texas State to officially have our 500 season. We're not making the conference championship. That's normal with us going only 6-6 on the season. So it is what it is. We did sign a couple 3-star recruits, a couple offensive line and a safety, which is very much needed as well. We are an 84 overall, but we really didn't play like it this year, so we'll have to see how we do next year, especially with all the boosts that we're going to have for next season. We just leveled up as well, which will be decent for our coach XP. But Darius Taylor, I think this is like the first running back we've seen in a long time. 252 carries. Jeez, with 1,600 yards, 21 touchdowns. That's insane. But we'll be playing Kennesaw State in the New Orleans Bowl, so another bowl game. Hopefully, we can finally win one. Maybe. Hopefully. Please. Just so we can raise our, team prestige. And then we'll go from there and try to do well in season number 4. We do lose again. We are 6-7, but we do go back up to a 2-star prestige with coach stability going down to an A. But only 2 people want to transfer out this year instead of most. But Clemson wins over Georgia in season 3, 34-20, with Cal, Liberty, Michigan, Auburn, Arizona with the automatic qualifiers, with Notre Dame, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon State, Colorado, and Illinois, Clemson as the at-large bids. That's going to end season 3, and it's on to season 4 here with Southern Mississippi. And here we are in season number 4 here with Southern Mississippi. We go 11-1 on the season and making the Sun Belt Conference Championship. Going to play Old Dominion in this game as well, but we had a very solid season here, beating FCS, Tulane, Toledo, who Tulane actually went 10-2, and we gave them one of their losses and shut them out too. Toledo, South Alabama, Old Dominion, Arkansas State. The only loss we had was against Washington State, and we only lost by 2 in overtime. So it was an overtime game, but then we had some pretty dominant wins, then some close wins after the loss. But if we can get the win here, that'd be nice. Because then we would, I think, make the college football playoff. It could not, but you never know. We just signed a 3-star wide receiver. We'll take it. And we only got 105 XP, and we lost. So we are 11-2, and I think that makes us now out of the college football playoff with us being ranked 15th. We had to win there to go, but unfortunately, we get the loss, but it's still a very good season. I'll gladly take this season. A Nevada wide receiver wins the Heisman Trophy, 70 catches, 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns. A really weird Heisman Trophy group that we've had here in the last couple seasons. Had the running back a couple years ago. We'll be playing Louisville in the Birmingham Bowl, so we do get a decent bowl game against a ranked opponent. Let's see if we can win this one. And, go 12-2 on the season, which would be very, very nice to have with this group. And we'll also check out the winner. We do lose. We go 11-13 on the season, but coach prestige does improve. Well, our team prestige doesn't move up. But Kansas State here in Season 4 wins it all. With Kansas State wins 45-10 over USC. With Sam Houston, Kansas State, LSU, Tulane, and Ohio State with the automatic qualifiers. With Notre Dame, Georgia, Middle Tennessee, Rutgers, Florida, and USC, Colorado with the at-large bid. So if we would have won, we would have had to play Notre Dame. Or if we got like the 11, we'd have to play Florida, which probably would not have been fun for either matchup here. But anywho, that's going to end Season 4. It's on to Season 5 here at Southern Mississippi. And here we are in Season number 5 here at Southern Miss. We go 10-2 on the season, being ranked 17th in the nation, facing Coastal Carolina, who went 8-4 in the Sun Belt Conference Championship, and hopefully this year we can win it. We did lose to Tulane and Texas A&M to start the season, but then we won 10 in a row. USF, FCS, UL Monroe, Troy, Marshall, and all the Sun Belt teams. But Coastal Carolina is the last line of fence against our perfect Sun Belt conference record, pretty much. If we can win here, we just had a 4-star guard, which will definitely help out because we didn't have really any left guards. And we won. We are 11-2. We jump up to 14th in the nation, so we have a chance at going into the college football playoff. It's a very low chance, but there's still a possibility that we go, just because Oregon State's up there in the top 10, so they're not going to have a spot guaranteed for them, so you never know. We'll find out right here, right now, though, with Jordan, a USC quarterback, win the Heisman Trophy. 3,900 yards, 45 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. And, no, we will be playing the Birmingham Bowl against Louisville again, so we do not make it. But I feel like next year we're going to have a good chance. Temple was the other winner. With Temple, Cal, USC, Georgia, and Utah with the automatic qualifiers, with Oregon State and Notre Dame, Cincinnati, South Carolina, Rutgers, Sam Houston, and Oregon as the at-large bids. So we'll just go ahead and simulate an in-season recap and see who wins it all, and hopefully we can win a bowl game here and hopefully improve our team prestige. That would be nice, but just have to be better, unfortunately, but still 10-2 and 11 win last season. We go 11-3 this year. Pro potential goes up to a C+, coach prestige goes down, but we do go up to a 2.5-star prestige, and Georgia defeats Notre Dame 51-31 to win the national title here in Season 5. That's going to do it for Season 5. It's on to Season 6 here at Southern Miss. And here we are in Season number 6 here at Southern Mississippi. We go 11-1 on the season, a very solid season. We ended up beating Oregon State. We lost our only game to Florida State, but then we went on a roll of 10 in a row. Ball State, FCS, Troy, all the Sun Belt teams. And now we get Georgia Southern here in the conference championship game. We are at 89 overall, which is very, very nice. So hopefully we can take advantage of that and win another one. But all the sides on this simulation here, and hopefully, again, if we win, I'm pretty sure we get a bye into the college football playoff since we are in the top 7, or top 6, I should say. We do drop to 8, but we do get a win. We are 12-1. Program edition and brand exposure both go up to a B-, so we'll take that all day. And that's another Sun Belt Conference champion win as well. John Moore got a pick 6, it looks like, in that game as well. We also had our wide receiver get 5 catches, 61 yards, and a touchdown to win that one as well for the Offensive Player of the Week for the Sun Belt. But a win is a win, and that means we are moving on to the college football playoff. We're in the top 10. We're going in automatically. It just depends where we're going to be at. Tyler Maldonado wins the Heisman Trophy. 4,200 yards, 52 touchdowns to 6 interceptions for the sophomore quarterback at LSU. And it looks like we get a bye going into the college football playoff. We do. Utep, Stanford, Nebraska, Southern Mississippi, and Georgia with the automatic qualifiers, with LSU, Texas A&M, and Oregon, Liberty and Penn State, and Oklahoma and South Carolina with the at-large bid. So we get the winner of Liberty or Penn State. More than likely it's going to be Penn State because they are a really good team at this point. Liberty is pretty good. They might pull off a win, pull off an upset, but who knows. And we're going to be playing Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. So our first ever college football playoff run is going to have to be against Penn State. LSU, Texas A&M, Penn State, and South Carolina all moved on. That was a close game, 42-40, and it went into overtime. So, hey, never know what can happen in these games. It's just be another example in this one here against Penn State. So let's get this started here against 12-2 Penn State, where they're an 87 overall. So we have the overall advantage in this one, which is weird to say, but we do. I don't know how we do, but because Penn State's a very good football team, especially as a Big Ten team. So it's definitely kind of weird for them to be in the first round. Only has an 87, but let's go quarter by quarter. Offense doesn't do anything. Penn State scores a touchdown. We get a safety at the end of quarter number 1 to make it 7-2. And now we make it 9-2. Now it's 14-9. Definitely a weird score going into the half. 14-9 lead here for Penn State. And we take the lead at 17-14. It'll be that way here in the fourth quarter. Defense needs to get a stop here on a 3rd and 1. They don't, so Penn State will continue to drive. And then we get a turnover that's big, but we don't get a first down. We do have to punt, though, but punt it all the way down to their 2-yard line. 4th and 1, we punt again. 4th and 4, they go for it. They get a first. They do only need a field goal to tie the game. There's only 25 seconds to go. There's 5 seconds. Do they get the field goal off? They do, so we're going to overtime. Penn State just had an overtime game. They get a field goal, and we get a touchdown to win it. I don't like how it doesn't show what happens in overtime, but we get the touchdown. We are moving on. A 23-20 win over Penn State. We almost won in regulation, but they get a field goal at the very end of the game, or I guess in regulation, to put us into overtime. We get a stop on defense, and the offense scores in 2 plays. So that means we are moving on to the semifinal game to play against either South Carolina or Georgia in the semifinal game. And hopefully it's not Georgia. I really don't want to play Georgia right now. After what we just had last week against Penn State, I feel like it'd even be a tougher game against Georgia. James Manziel wins the Heisman Trophy. That's just the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week. What am I talking about? I don't even know. We'll go in the Sugar Bowl against Georgia. So, kind of a home game for Georgia, unfortunately. But the winner of this game would go play Nebraska or LSU in the national title game. So, win here, and we're in the Natty. So, let's get started here against 12-2 Georgia. And they are a 91 overall. So, this will be a tough game. Like I said, Georgia's a very good team. They always are in these simulations. They always have a high-rated team as well. So, got to find ways to get stops on defense and score on offense. Able to win this game. We're starting on offense first in this one. And the offense goes nowhere. Georgia immediately gets a touchdown and a turnover. Then we get a touchdown to make it 10-7 going into the second quarter. We get stopped on defense, but nothing doing. Georgia will get stopped again. So it's still 10-7 at the half. We get another stop. Now we take the lead for the first time. It's 17-14 here in the fourth. And we have the ball on their side, and we get a big touchdown. So we have the lead again. Can we hold it here? 3rd and 4, we get a stop. Now we just need to eat time when we go 3 and out. 4th and 3, we get another stop. Under 2 minutes to go. We get a big first down. We're already on their side of the field. And it's going to do it. Southern Miss is going to defeat Georgia 21-17 and move on to the national championship game. I'm at a loss for words. It's kind of unreal that Southern Miss just did that to Georgia. Georgia struggled on offense. Yes, they scored a couple times, but they had a field goal after they got a turnover, so that was huge. If we allowed a touchdown there, it would have just been tied. But all in all, a win is a win. That means we are one win away from having another team down, another Sun Belt team down. I know we got a lot more teams in the Sun Belt. We haven't really been landing on them on the wheel here recently, but we're going to be playing Nebraska in the national championship game to stop their undefeated season. They are 15-0. They defeated LSU 29-12. They also beat Texas A&M 48-7. If they are undefeated and we've only lost one game, here, two best teams in the national championship. So let's get started here against undefeated Nebraska, to where they are an 86 overall. So we have the overall advantage, but we still have to get stops on defense and score on offense. We could not turn the ball over. If we do that, the overalls don't matter. We're giving them free opportunities to score at that point. And we're starting on offense first here in this one. First drive ends in a punt. Nebraska's first drive ends in a field goal. Then our second drive, we get a big touchdown to take the lead 7-3. Nebraska punts, but so do we. Another punt, and now a touchdown for us to make it 14-6 at the half after they get a field goal. So it's an 8-point game. Nebraska punts again. We get a field goal. So it's 17-6, now 24-6, and that's big. Now it's a huge lead for us here in the fourth quarter. 4th down and 10. They go for it. They run the football for a reason. The world may never know, but I guess they tried to run for a first. But they try to get an onside kick after a touchdown. We recover. It's 4th and 2. We actually went for it on 4th down. And Southern Mississippi is going to win it all. And it's another team down. Defeating Nebraska, stopping their undefeated season, a 24-13 win here in the national championship game here with Southern Mississippi. But yeah, that means still over 30 teams to go. We're getting close to around just 30 teams to go. I think we're around 32 left now, with this being 102. But all in all, we'll gladly take it. Another team down, and don't need to worry about Southern Mississippi anymore. This one was a little bit of a long one compared to normal, at least. But taking a look at the stats, of course, before we go, Kirkland actually had most of the opportunities at quarterback. 2,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He had to get hurt at some point because Adam Ham threw for 100 times, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception with 856 yards. Rushing-wise, Sutton 96.6, Whitaker 229-3, Kirkland also had 181-3, Ham 124-2, Rowe 90-1, and Manziel with 11-1 as well. Manziel also had 964 and 13 touchdowns. Dave with 782-7, Berlin with 760-6, Gammon with 320-5, and Stubbs 242-1. The only other touchdown we had was from Rowe for 34 yards and a touchdown. Defensive-wise, Deere led the team with 80 tackles. Mwamba had 9 tackles for a loss. He also had 10.5 sacks to lead the team. Murillo had 4 picks to lead the team. We did only force 3 fumbles, but somehow recovered 4. Math ain't mathing there. But no blocked kicks. We did have a safety and 2 defensive touchdowns on the season. So that's nice. Kicking-wise, we made every field goal, but had 2 extra points blocked. Kind of wild. Punting-wise, we had 3,100 punt yards, 10 inside the 2012 touchbacks. Not great. And no punt or kick return touchdowns in the national championship winning season. But that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, hit that like button down below. It is free. It really helps out the channel. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'm out. Peace.